Welcome, everybody, to the Multiverse of Entertainment podcast. This is the podcast where we dive into the multiverse of TV and movies, and we talk about the good, the bad, and the damn right ugly. And this week, we are talking the ugliest of the ugliest films. My name is James. Hope you enjoy the show. Welcome to the show. Thank you for tuning in. And we are episode 35. And this week, we are talking Doom. God. I have a lot to say about this movie. God. I'm not gonna lie, I literally watched this movie 2 hours ago. If you saw it on social media, I literally rewatched this film to get ready for the podcast, and oh boy, 2 hours is just too damn long for this film, and we'll get into it. We'll get into it as we do. My buddy, my good friend, Sassy Bear Clarence. I can't get my words out today. What the fuck's going on with me today? My buddy Sassy Bear Clarence is joining me for this episode, and let's just say we've both got a lot to say through this episode, which is. God, you can already sense the dread. So this episode could be either a really good episode, or this episode could be really, really trash. But I am more than happy for you guys to be here. Thank you very much for tuning in. Let's get into it. Let's listen to the episode where we talk Doom, where this movie released in cinemas in the UK on December 2nd, 2005. Enjoy the episode, everyone. Let's go.
Sanford Crosby, UAC Public Relations. Follow me, please.
How many people you got up there?
UAC employs 85 permanent research staff in Olduvai. Welcome to the Ark, gentlemen.
Initiating molecular mapping drive. All personnel, prepare for activation.
Keep your distance from the core, or you might get sucked in.
You done this before?
Once. Training mission. Hope you had a good dinner, kid.
Okay, episode 35. I don't know why I'm standing up with that voice, but fuck it. I don't know, it can't be any worse than this fucking episode. Oh, God. My buddy Sassy Bear Clarence is here with us today. Before we start, happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
I'm such a bad friend. My girlfriend had to remind me it was Sassy Bear's birthday on the 7th, and we are the 10th, and I was like, the notification didn't come up on our Discord, and I completely forgot. So hope you had a good one.
It's been a good one.
Good.
Yeah, it's been a good one.
Good. You had fun at the bingo. You told us you had fun at the bingo.
Yeah, so well, it was like I was actually a number away of winning £100,000 of bingo that day.
I could do with that right now.
Yeah, literally at that point, my adrenaline was so fucking mad. And then when the realization happened of like, you're not winning this, it just crashed and died.
Oh, can you imagine? One number away, and you're like,
I know.
Damn it.
So that would have been insane to win that amount of money. But yeah.
Well, next time.
Fingers crossed. But other than that, was a grand birthday. So
good. I'm glad. We had this conversation the other day, like who was the oldest. I thought I was older than Sassy, but clearly by a month, Sassy Bear is older than me. So small victories, but he's better looking than me. So I'll take it. So
I'll stop it, you.
Right. I would beat around the bush. I am. In my intro, I said, like, I was recording this. I've already done the intro. I watched this literally a few hours ago. And,
Same.
Oh God, where do we begin? I've been trying to think of where we could tackle this movie in ways, but I thought we'd go a different route. because the plot in this movie, there's no fucking plot. All right, there's just no fucking plot. There's a little bit, but it's not.
No.
So for a change, I want to start off with talk about. We usually talk about the cast after the movie.
Yeah.
I just want to talk about the cast first because there is a good array of casting in this movie. Few notables, obviously. You've got Carl Urban, who is playing Reaper / Doom guy. Which I didn't know he was the Doom guy. It's not very obvious, is it, by the way they're dressed, that he's Doom guy?
No, because last I checked, didn't the Doom guy have a helmet?
Yeah, and he didn't talk. And I sure as hell he didn't have a sister. And then you've got Ben Daniels, who plays Goat. Ben Daniels is famous for a lot of movies.
Yeah.
And obviously you've got Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as well.
Heyo.
Big, both of us together are quite big fans of Dwayne, especially his WWE, WWF days. And then you've got Rosanda Pike, who I think before this was a Bond girl in one of the Pierce Brosnan movies. I think it's either Tomorrow Never Dies or The World Is Not Enough. One of the two.
Let me have a gander. Oh, Die Another Day, apparently.
Diana. Oh, wait, no, she was the other Bond girl in Die Another Day. Yes, because
you had Halle Berry
in there as well. Ah, right, okay. So, and then you've got a few others as well. Al Weaver, who plays the kid. I thought Al Weaver was Stuart from The Big Bang Theory, but it's the wrong guy. He looks like him, but I thought, is that Stuart? It's like, no, it's not. And for all you Star Trek fans out there, the imps were played by a gentleman actor by the name of Doug Jones, who who is notorious for portraying non-human characters throughout his career, and because he's been in Hellboy and Mimic as well.
I thought his face looked familiar.
Yeah, and he's been in the recent Star Trek Discovery shows as well.
Oh.
So he's been pretty prolific in that. So it shows a great array of cast. I think obviously apart from Dwayne Johnson, Carl Urban is probably one of the notable actors there. I think this is like one of his earlier films as well.
Yeah, I believe so.
Because before this, he was in Chronicles of Riddick and the Lord of the Rings films.
Yeah, I was going to say he was specifically in The Two Towers and Return of the King.
And then he had a little stint in either Hercules or Xena Warrior Princess. One of the two. I think it's Xena.
It's both. Hercules and Xena, apparently.
Oh, there we are then. Both. I'm surprised for a New Zealander as well. I don't think you would have been in like Neighbours or Home and the Way and stuff like that because they were Australian TV, right? Nah, bro. So that shows how much the casting is in this. It's a good cast. Not a lot to talk about. But bloody hell, where do we? Oh, I don't really. We have to talk about the movie because this movie was like up and down. Like I mean, like we were about 15 when this movie came out.
Yeah,
yeah. Carry on.
Yeah, I think by then I was. Well, I think by this point when this movie came out, I knew what Doom was because it was a classic video game developed by id Software. It was pretty much released on just about every single freaking platform you could think of.
Yeah.
At this point, it was on PC, it was on Super Nintendo, I believe there was even the Game Boy version of it, Game Boy Advance version, 3DO.
Yep.
There was a Sega 32X. They then did a sort of like a release on it on the 360, and then later collections on like the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
So, and there was even a version of the PlayStation as well. I completely forgot. So it was widely accessible to gamers at the time.
Yeah.
So it's easy to know what the fuck Doom is. And basic plot of the game of Doom is you are the Doom guy that's sent to hell to fight a fuckload of demons to protect Earth, pretty much.
Yes, that's the basis of the story.
That's literally the basis of the story. What confused the fuck out of me with this movie is it's not in hell.
No.
It's in fucking, what was it, Mars or some shit?
I mean, to be honest there, alright, I didn't play Doom until Doom 3.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That was my very first Doom game. Over the years, I've played Doom 1. I played a little bit of Doom 2. I've never played Doom 64.
I've yet to play Doom 64.
And I've played the newest Doom, but I haven't played Doom Eternal yet. So
I mean, yeah.
So my Doom, I love Doom 3. The remake Doom is great as well. Doom 1 is phenomenal, and it's aged like fine wine these days. And with Doom 3, like I know this is our video game podcast, but Doom 3 was released 7 months before this movie came out. So this movie was kind of like it was supposed to be an homage to the games, but they kind of like you said, deviated from the video games. Obviously, throughout the movie, they refer to Mars as or the facility they're on as hell because Reaper and his sister Sam had like a traumatic experience during their childhood while up there, which I didn't see the point of. And like it frustrates me because you had all the makings there of a really good Doom game, and like subsequently the Doom games you would be on Mars.
I know in the third one it was
Doom 3 was on Mars, and then the subsequent games after that, like the 2 remakes, are on Mars as well, and you do dive into hell as well. Prolifically with it. There's a lot of like hell things in there. But this movie, they kind of looked at it and just went, right, we can come up with something here. Granted, they didn't really have much source material because you had the first game, the second game, 64 as well, and Doom 3, right? Mm-hmm. Granted, but then some of us would be like, maybe you could have done something similar to the games, which the old school games, I think you could have easily done. It would have been a little bit difficult with source material, but the third game was like prolific with a lot of story and a good source material to make a film. But then when they had some elements of the game. They had the arc. They had three things they had from the games really. They had the arc. They had the BFG, and they had the first-person shooting scene, which we'll get to later on.
Yes.
Apart from that, they don't really establish that Reaper's the Doom guy. They don't really, and then you've got all these subsequent characters where they've just kind of gone, do you know what? Let's make this as like a Predator style movie. This what reminds me of. It reminds me of a really shitty Predator film set in space. However, the imps are all not creatures from hell, but mutated freaks because scientists were fucking around with an extra chromosome, which was like, what? Where the fuck did the extra chromosome come from? And
I don't fucking know.
And they were like, oh yeah, they were they got it from like this skeleton of like a humanoid found on Mars, protecting her baby. And I'm like, like, there's a story there itself. You know, did she? If they turned around and said like, oh, she was protecting her baby from Hell Knights and the forces of hell, then I'd be like, right, okay, there's a reason for it. But they don't. But they don't really say why.
Yeah.
Why this? Because you clearly see the skeletons protecting the baby. You know, baby skeleton. And like, from what we never established that. So it's kind of like, you know, you got 8 Marines being tasked to go to Mars. So basically, if you've not seen the movie, you can watch it anywhere. It's like £2 on Amazon. But you could probably buy it for like 10 pence at a fucking rental store or something like that. The story, you know, the movie starts where you got scientists running. Well, first of all, the universal sign looks pretty snazzy with like the Mars instead of the Earth, which is pretty cool. I quite like that.
It's kind of creative, yeah.
It's kind of creative, and then you dive in to the onto Mars, onto this facility, and scientists are running, scared for something we don't know what. And then one by one get taken out. There's a very gruesome scene at the start of it where the scientist is closing the door, and the female scientist's arm gets trapped in the door and it gets flayed around, blood coming out everywhere, and then it gets torn off and whatnot. That's quite a prolific scene. You know, that in any movie, if you saw that, you'd be like, oh, right, okay, this is like proper kicking off now. What the fuck's going on? And then you have the big doom sign, and then you get to see Dwayne. You get to see Dwayne the Rock Johnson answering a call, Sarge, and then he relays a message saying to his troops, like, leaves cancelled. We've been shipped to Mars because there's a problem. Got to find these scientists, which they do. They establish already that, you know, Reaper has some sort of like past up there, which they don't really dive into either. You know, all they say is there was an accident between Reaper and his sister Sam, who's one of the scientists, and they say, oh, their dad was killed in an accident, but they didn't say how the accident happened or anything like that. So it's kind of like a loose end to a story that we never know what the fuck's going on.
Right.
So they do that, find Sam. You're introduced to Pinky, the human form of Pinky as well. Oh, sorry. That's the 4th thing they got right in this fucking movie is Pinky. Right? That's the other thing they got right in that.
Right.
So they're up, they're fucking doing their military thing, scouting around trying to find the scientists. You find one, and he's obviously been. This is fucking stupid. He's been bitten on the fucking neck by, I don't know, fucking Mobius or something, and he's like clutching like the hand of that a female scientist, and he doesn't know anybody. He's like trying to be aggressive, not trying to be aggressive, but being aggressive. And then he rips his ear off, and everyone's like freaked out. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay,
Jesus.
Well, I know, right? It is a pretty gruesome film. I'll give it to it. You know, it's pretty gruesome. They take him away into the thing again and try and sort it out. And while they're doing this, we'll go through the characters individually as well. Like, they're still scouting around. They find another scientist. They find the female scientist whose arm got cut off. And she's just like randomly butt-ass naked in a locker room and then turns around and attacks Portman and the kid after both of them are like eyeing her up from behind, which is kind of creepy. I know, right? 2005, you could get away with it then, apparently. And then you've got, you find all these scientists there, but the guys again killed off one by one. Gort is an interesting character because he's a religious man, and and if he takes God's name in vain, he will literally pull his knife out and scratch a cross in his arm.
Oh,
yeah, it's prolific in the scene. It's really, really gruesome. It's really weird. It's really weird. But then I was thinking about going, maybe some religious zealots out there would probably do that themselves.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. So they do all that. They got killed like one by one. Eventually, obviously The Rock gets the fucking BFG. Who else is gonna get the fucking BFG but The Rock?
Oh, of course.
And then they go through this fucking thing, this horror thing, and then they find out then that the scientists were actually experimenting with chromosome 24, trying to see if humans can take on the chromosome, but then test subject they had kind of mutated into like this fucking imp. Well, it's not an imp, but it's fucking something. It's apparently it's a Hell Knight, which is not a fucking Hell Knight at all. And what do they do then? Was it Sam, Sam, who is Reaper's sister, puts what's she do? She shows Reaper that the creatures will only infect certain people, not everybody. So when they're clearing out the area of like people who've been killed or not killed, Sarge is like told everybody like clear everyone's got to die, which eventually gets to the point where the kid who turns around and goes fuck you basically and gets shot in the fucking throat, get killed. Like what the fuck, like I don't know it obviously gets down to the point where everybody's pretty much killed off, and it's just Reaper, and Reaper's like at the point of death himself, and then Sam gives him like chromosome 24, and then all of a sudden you see him fall asleep, the camera pans into his eye, and then next minute you're first person viewing, and then it's like it's like the video game then, where you're like you're moving in and out, shooting up and down, proper gamer first person shooter view, which is a pretty cool scene. I think it's the only cool scene in the movie. And that lasts for about a good 10 minutes, which is class, which I think is great. But then, fuck me, the final battle and the final boss fight, as it were, between The Rock and Karl Urban, and it's like,
oh, fucking this.
Yeah, oh. I know, and I'm just like, really? And because The Rock's turning into like one of those creatures as well. Because I thought, like, if The Rock's gonna turn, surely he would become like a Hell Knight and then have like the Hell Knight like powers and stuff like that. But no, it was like halfway mid transformation, and then gets sent through the arc. Reaper sends a fucking thing through the arc and then explodes it from that side, and he's up on Earth then, like happy days. You know, like this is like an hour. This is like a near 2 hour film. It's like it's 104 minutes runtime, and I'm like, it feels like 104 fucking minutes.
Jesus.
Like, I can't really say much about it because it's so like
shit.
Oh, it. Do you know people used to say like the Super Mario Brothers movie was really bad?
Oh, that's
all.
Yeah, that's at least rewatchable compared to fucking this.
Oh,
And yeah, granted, I have said my fair share on the Super Mario Brothers movie before, but I could easily watch that back and still have somewhat have an enjoyment rewatching it. Whereas this, I wanted to cast it into the fucking space and shoot it.
Because I remember when I mentioned this episode, and you were like, "I need to be on this episode because I've got a lot to say about it."
Oh, believe me, I fucking do.
Do you know what? For the next 10 minutes or so, half at it, just go for it, uninterrupted. Fucking go.
Yeah.
Because I'm being quite nice about it. But you go. Go.
Right. Sure. Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
right.
Go for it.
Yeah, so I'm not the biggest fan of this movie for a multitude of fucking reasons. So, as I said earlier, it's based on the video game, and obviously I know as video game adaptations go, they tend to not completely follow the source material. Yep. But in this case, I felt they had more than enough source material to fucking go with. And yeah, I know Doom 3, it was based in space, but there's like no particular mention of hell. There's not even like a portal to hell. Instead, they just used a location to which they metaphorically call hell, which is a fucking cop-out, if I'm honest. I do like Carl Urban's character. I do like his character, and The Rock's character to start with. Sorry, Dwayne Johnson, but he is The Rock. But then that gets ruined when they decide to have him, I don't know, catch rabies and turn into something.
Become a mass murderer, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. He doesn't become like a fucking Hell Knight or anything like that. And also, here's another thing that fucking annoys me. Have a whole library of different fucking demons from the Doom franchise that they could have squeezed in this fucking movie. Like, cool, they got imps. Cool, they've apparently got Hell Knights, but they're not Hell Knights, but whatever. You could have got fucking Caco demons and the fucking flaming skulls that fly at people.
Yeah.
Like, there's just so much in terms of enemy category of, like, Doom that you could do, but no, it's like, oh, we could only bother with the imps and the fucking Hell Knights, and that's about it. Oh, fuck it, we'll turn the Rock into a villain, I guess. Which makes no fucking sense. And yeah, they do the fucking first-person shooter fucking section, which, on the one hand, it's like, cool, but a massive eye roll, because it's like, it was first-person because it was a fucking video game. It makes no fucking sense for it to be a first person in a movie because it's not like one of those theme park fucking rides where it's like a simulation of a first person shooter. No, you're just sat there watching the most AI based fucking attempt at a first person shooter game. And what's even more annoying is this is the section which has a really good like song composed for it. You can barely fucking hear it though because of the noise mixing being so bad.
Yeah,
and I think that's another thing that really annoys me is there's a good soundtrack, but good luck fucking hearing it.
Yeah,
I didn't care much for the plot, if there even was any. If there was, barely noticeable because it was that thin through of a plot. Because it's like the other characters in the long run, you couldn't really give much of a shit about, especially the creeps that perv over the woman and the fucking religious twat that emos a cross on his fucking wrist or something. And like, I struggle to A, defend and B, recommend this movie to anyone because fuck me, being reminded of this movie was like, oh great.
I remember the hype around this movie when it first was announced that a Doom
believe me,
movie was coming out. Everyone's like, oh, fuck.
And I remember they definitely put that fucking first-person section in the trailer.
Yeah.
pull fuckers in, being like, what?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I mean, I can understand the hype because Doom was fucking awesome. Oh, they're doing a movie based on Doom, awesome. And it's just like, oh, they've got a first person section in. All right, that's pretty fucking cool. Everything else around it, bollocks, absolute fucking bollocks.
Mind you, right? We grew up in an era, right? The 90s was great. The 90s, you had cheesy movies, but they were great cheesy movies, right? Really good cheesy movies.
You could still watch those again and again and still enjoy it.
But like the movies between the year 2000 and 2008. Oh god, some of them age really well. Some of them really don't.
No,
and some of them are blatantly disrespectful. I'm looking at you, Spider-Man 3. Fucking Sony bastards. Still nearly 20 years. I'm still pissed off with fucking Spider-Man 3, but we'll get there to when that comes. I have a lot to say about that when that fucking episode comes. But yeah, like through the 2000s, the movies that were hyped and left fans disappointed, I could probably name 3 off the top of my head. Right?
This movie being one of them.
Mm-hmm. Spider-Man 3.
Mm-hmm.
And the live-action Dragon Ball Evolution film.
Oh no, that fucking movie!
Right. I'm probably going to say this on the Dragon Ball episode because that episode is coming. It is coming in 2024 at some point. I don't know when. But I might just ruin my 34th birthday and just fucking do it then, just for shits and giggles.
If you need someone to suffer with you, just give me a message if you want.
Yeah, but like those 3 films, all right, where I was really hyped for these films, and then they were either the plot was good, but the execution of it was terrible, or they didn't read the source material and fucking just went with any fucking thing, or they had a perfect film and just thought, do you know what? Fuck it, we'll ruin it by adding everything else in at the end of the fucking movie. Which I'm looking at you, Spider-Man 3, fucking Sony. But like, oh yeah, I mean, like some of these, yeah, like the 2000s were not the best.
Nope.
Like people like to criticize like the MCU and stuff like that, but if it wasn't for Iron Man, I don't think we would have had better fucking. I think we had better movies after Iron Man came out onwards because of like the tech and stuff. Because you had like Transformers and other movies come out of those kind of genres.
Yeah,
and obviously they're quite saturated now. 2023, they are saturated. Huge MCU fan. I'm not ashamed to say it, and the movies are quite saturated. Thank God we're only getting one MCU movie next year.
That's good.
And one TV show next year, which is good. Give us a break because I'll talk about this another time, but the multiverse, the multiverse of Marvel is such a head scratcher. Like, if you don't know anything about like the storyline leading up to Secret War, or the multiverse in general of Marvel, it's a lot to get your head around in. There's a lot to get around it. But back to Doom. This is how bad this movie is because we're not talking about Doom.
Exactly.
Like fucking, I've said this off before we recorded. During that first person scene, I'm pretty sure that scene had the original Doom theme in it composed, but like you said, we couldn't fucking hear it because the music was so quiet for that scene You could hear all the gunfire and the sound effects and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's all you could really hear for that scene because you have to really listen hard to fucking hear it. But at least nowadays, you could just fucking search the soundtrack on YouTube or whatever and just listen to it that way.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure as well, Doom must be the only fucking movie that has, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different release dates for it. All right, let me go through it, okay? Release dates. October 17th, 2005, Los Angeles. October 26th. Yeah, I know, right? October 21st, 2005, released in the United States. October 27th, released in Germany. November 3rd, released in the Czech Republic. How fucking random is that? And then December 2nd, 2005, which is what I said during the intro, here in the UK.
Huh.
So, I don't know whether they were taking the piss or something, but did they try and release this around Christmas time? They thought, they turned around and go, let's make this the new Die Hard. Let's make this a Christmas film. It's like, it's not a Christmas film. But Die Hard is, but this movie fucking isn't. Fuck no.
Not even a chance, no. And
no.
In fact, I have a bit of a bone to pick with the fucking director of this bloody movie.
Who is the director of this movie?
So apparently he's a Polish man by the name of Andrzej Bartkowiak. Hang on, Bartkowiak.
Yeah.
Kowiak or Bartkowiak.
Yeah.
Andrzej Bartkowiak. So I have a bone to pick with this fucker because this, annoyingly enough, isn't the only video game adapted fucking movie that he did.
Well, there's another one.
There was another one he directed, which could be as bad as this, or maybe even worse. And it is a little movie called Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li.
Oh, good God!
Which has, and I quote, Kristen Cruick as Chun-Li, Neil McDonough as M. Bison. Bear in mind, M. Bison's meant to be from Thailand. Instead, this fucker's ginger and Irish, which makes no fucking sense. You then have Chris Klein, who's meant to be Charlie Nash.
Yeah.
Michael Clark Duncan, rest in peace, as Balrog. Taboo from the Black Eyed Peas as Vega, which doesn't make any fucking sense. We also have Robin Shao, a.k.a. Liu Kang from the Mortal Kombat movies in the 90s.
Right.
Playing as Jen, apparently a martial arts master, whatever. Everyone else, I don't remember much, but yeah, that was a terrible fucking movie also. And thankfully, after that fucking movie, he stopped doing video game adapted movies, which is probably for the best.
Oh, and he's been involved. Apparently, his filmography. he's been involved with Twins.
Yeah.
Speed. Species, which is another fucking movie in itself. Dante's Peak. Lethal Weapon 4, The Devil's Advocate.
Yep.
Romeo Must Die. Cradle of the Grave 2. Oh God, get off my screen, will you? Fuck's sake.
So he seems to be a better cinematographer than a fucking director.
I know, and I'm looking at it and just like right. Do you know how much the budget for this film was?
For Doom?
Yeah,
let's see. So the budget
is between $60 and $70 million.
Wow, what the?
And it only made $58.7 million.
Ooh.
So you look at that, and then you just go, "What the fuck happened?" Like, did you read the source material? Did you see the source material? Did you know what the game was?
It felt like they just had either a bullet point blurb of the fucking material and just went with that. It's like, all right, it's called Doom. Cool. Space. All right, cool. Right.
Mars. Cool.
Yeah, Mars. Cool. Facility.
Cool.
We could do that. We could squeeze in a little bit where it's like they're doing an autopsy and it all goes wrong and all that blah 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 business. Fuck it. And we can get Dwayne Johnson on board. All right, cool. That'll be majority of the budget. That's fine. Cool. Put that fucker on the front cover on the DVD. That's fine.
Yeah, that would sell. That would sell.
Yeah. I mean, it's The Rock. I mean, Scorpion King. Returns.
To be honest, The Rock has even come out himself. Dwayne Johnson's even said himself, like, "Look, I made Doom." So in a joke, there was like this thing at a Hall of Fame in 2008 where he compared. He said that he went to see prisoners of war, and they were tortured by watching reruns of the movie Marine, which got a pop, and that famous reaction of John Cena going, "Ooh," and The Rock just looks at John, smiles at him, laughs, and he goes, "Hey, don't worry, I'm sure it's a good film. However, I made Doom, so it could be worse." So it's funny. The clip? Find the clip. It's funny. It's kind of true as well. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, there's a couple of things I definitely want to mention about this. It's the fact that there's been 2 accolades this movie got, if you can call them that.
Accolades?
Well, in 2009, Time newspaper, with the American newspaper, basically had the film on its list of top 10 worst video game movies.
Yeah.
And also, Dwayne Johnson received a Golden Raspberry Award nomination for his performance in the movie.
What the fuck's a Golden Raspberry? I've never heard that before.
Right. So the Golden
yeah, I see it.
so the Golden Raspberries are basically, think of the Oscars, but they basically sort of categorize the worst of fucking movies. And I'm not even joking. Apparently the 26th fucking annual, the 26th awards.
Golden Raspberry Awards, or Razzles.
The Razzies, yeah. So,
oh, God.
So Dwayne Johnson was nominated for Worst Actor in Doom as Ash Sarge Mahan. Other nominees were Will Ferrell in Bewitched and Kicking and Screaming. I forgot they did a movie based on Bewitched, and I'm quite depressed now that I've figured it out. Jamie Kennedy in Son of the Mask.
Oh, God.
And Tom Cruise in War of the Worlds. But guess what won it?
Wow.
Rob Schneider in Deuce Bigalow, European Gigolo.
Oh, fuck's sake. Oh, God. You know what?
And I'll leave it as there, because...
Top 10 worst video game movies of all time. I fucking wonder what the top 10 worst video games of all time are, because we could probably do that on another episode, but fuck it. It's depressing. We're not I didn't want to come on here and completely bash this movie, because this movie had a really good potential to be a great film, but they fucked up. And what makes it interesting as well, right? Arnold Schwarzenegger was considered to be the lead, but turned it down. Vin Diesel was offered the lead, but then turned it down. Dwayne Johnson was offered the role as John Grimm first, but turned it down in favor of Sarge, which I think would have been a better fit. And for some reason, I was drawn to Sarge, so I thought Sarge was to me more interesting and had a darker side, which made sense. And then, yeah, I mean, and do you know what? The first person sequence was filmed in 14 days.
Jesus.
after a planning period of 3 months. And I'm like, I'm not a film director. I don't know how difficult it is to film those kind of things. But for me, I'm kind of like, I might as well have had the movie in first person all the way through. That would have been a really good movie, I think, if you had like first person elements all the way through. Because like if John Grimm's Doom Guy, then we don't really see Doom Guy. We just see his perspective and everything.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like the Master Chief in a way. Like he's a guy in a helmet and a suit of armor. Like, let's not see who he is. Let's just see the outer of him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah, fucking.
Right, let's be the wooden stake into the heart of this movie and give it its final ranking.
Yeah, I don't know much more. I don't think there's anything else I can talk about this.
I think we've literally just thrown everything out.
I would have let. You might as well have given me a fucking plate of shit to watch. I think it would have been better. I'm gonna be a fucking dick here. Okay, out of 2. No, I'm joking. So how many Doom games are there? There are.
Oh Christ! Now you ask me. Let me.
64 Doom Eternal, 6 Doom games.
Let's see. So Doom 2, Doom 64, Doom 3. Then we got the new Doom and then Doom Eternal, and there's a bunch of random shit in between, but whatever. Yeah, so like 6 main games in the series.
So out of 6, what are we giving this?
Fuck me. You know what? I'm giving it a fucking 0 because you could pay me 500,000 fucking pounds to rewatch this movie, and I'd probably say no.
A 0. That's probably the lowest ranked movie we've ever done. Why am I gonna funny feeling if we cover the Masters of the Universe, which is a bad movie in itself?
Oh, the Dolph Lundgren one, fuck me.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, and I'm like, I've got a funny feeling that movie will score higher than this one does.
Oh, it will do, because there's at least some enjoyable camp in that movie.
Yeah. Oh boy.
But
this. I'm gonna be a bit more generous because you got the BFG, you got Pinky,
you got The Rock, you got Carl Urban.
Well, yeah, you got The Rock, you got Carl Urban as well. I love those 2 guys. Not their fault. It's poor fucking. By the way, it's poor writing that lets this movie down. Poor execution. I'm going to give this I'm not going to give it a 0. I'm going to give it a 0.521.
0.521. Okay.
Yeah, which is which is just over half a point. Just to be generous.
Yeah, I mean, just to be generous, because I'm not pulling any punches with this fucking movie. Because fuck me.
Yeah, it's kind of like those guilty pleasure movies. Like if it's on, then fuck it, I'll watch it. Like if you're having a group of friends round and you think, oh, let's have a bad video game night. This is one of the bad video game movie night. This is one of the video games you have to like put on the list. Let's be honest. No execution whatsoever.
Yeah,
nothing.
Just
fuck you, Doom. All right, buddy. Like I said on the intro, this is probably the last episode you featured on in 2023.
Yeah.
So I promise you between now and then, but if we don't happen to see each other between then and now, have a great Christmas.
Likewise, my friend.
And Happy New Year. Good luck with all the rest of your wrestling through the rest of the year.
It was literally just like one show, I think, literally the week after.
Yeah.
That I've got for 2023, and then that's it. And then Lord knows what 2024 will take me, but we'll see.
But, have a good Christmas, dude, and have a good New Year with the family and stuff like that. Stay safe.
No worries, buddy.
If we don't see each other, if we don't talk to each other before then, see you in 2024.
See you in a bit, man.
All right, dude. Have a good one.
Doctor,
You too.
you were going to tell me just what the fuck is going on up here.
What?
Come here. Come here! This is what?
God!
Have you found anything like this on your archaeological digs?
No.
Is there any way this thing came from the outside, from the surface?
The planet is completely dead.
It came from somewhere, lady.
Portman, shut up.
The atmosphere on the surface can't support life.
Maybe it doesn't need air. It could have come from another planet or something.
What, like an alien?
Look at that thing! Portman, you need to shut the fuck up!
And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That was episode 35 of this beautiful, beautiful podcast. Thank you very much for tuning in this week. Don't forget, we got 3 episodes left of this year. 3 episodes or 2 episodes left of 2023? 2 episodes left of 2023, and the last episode of 2023 will be a Christmas episode. And I'm not gonna lie, Christmas episode is going to be Home Alone, so that's coming out on Christmas Day itself. But next week we are talking something very special. But before then, I'll announce that. I'd like to say thank you to my buddy Sassy Bear Clarence for joining me on this week's episode. We'll see him next year for another episode, which we've got lined up for him somewhere. I can't remember where. We've got a few episodes. But if you want to catch up on all our episodes are on the archives on audio form on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and YouTube Music as well now. So search the Multiverse Entertainment Podcast. You can also follow us on social media at Instagram at Multiverse of Entertainment Pod and TikTok at Mo Podcast, where each week you will get a sneak peek of the latest of the next upcoming episode. You can also follow me on social media. You can follow me at ItzThatNerdJames. You can also catch me on Twitch on Wednesday and Thursdays at the moment because of my work schedule. Those are the only 2 days I can stream, so catch me there from about 6-7 p.m. GMT, where at the moment we're playing Tomb Raider and Fall Guys as well. So come and join me there, twitch.tv/ItzThatNerdJames. And you can follow me everywhere, Instagram, Twitter, everything. I post. I'm going to be posting regularly as of 2024 anyway. But next week, I will be doing a solo episode, and we are talking one of my favorite game shows of all time, The Crystal Maze. And this is going to be a fun one. This is going to throw back some memories, and I'm looking forward to it. So I can't wait to talk about that. So until then, guys, have a good one. Happy Hanukkah. I think Hanukkah's coming up soon. I saw on Instagram this morning that Hanukkah's coming up. So happy Hanukkah to everybody. Happy Christmas to everybody. I hope you're enjoying your holidays. Let's listen to the outro that we love so much. See you next week. Goodbye.